Hi, I'm Kelly Bohm, and today on the Driven Podcast, I'm joined by someone who embodies grit, vision, and action, Dominic Daoust. Dominic grew up in and out of foster care as a child and went on to serve in the Marine Corps and has since become a trusted loan officer specializing in VA loans. And some would call him a serial entrepreneur. He's created a VA loan toolkit to help veterans. He also invests in Airbnbs and is launching a lemonade stand business that he hopes to turn into a franchise with and for his daughter. Beyond his business ventures, Dominic is a man of faith and family who isn't afraid to take risks and pursue new opportunities. I'm so excited for you to hear Dominic's story and to hear what drives him. Today's episode is sponsored by Driven Relationships, where business growth starts with genuine human connection. At Driven, we believe loyalty and referrals don't come from transactions, they come from trust. If you're ready to build lasting client relationships and stand out in a noisy digital world, please visit us at drivenrelationships.com. Did something happen while you were in the Marines that led you to think, like, I really want to be a loan officer? Was there some
That
magical
is
moment?
that's a great question. No. Um, I guess story time. We'd hop right into it. So I've always known that I needed to own property in order for me to grow any sort of real wealth in my
Mm,
family's life. I don't know how much of my history you're fully aware of, but basically grew up in and out of some foster homes. And, my dad was, I think he was 18 or 19 when he had me. My mom was 15, 16, somewhere in there. So we grew up relatively poor. Uh,
yeah,
and so kind of came from nothing. The thing is about that story is that that's a good chunk of the military, regardless of your Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, what have you. But a lot of people kind of come from nothing and utilize it as a springboard. Uh,
yeah,
so that's what I did is as I joined the Marine Corps, I was like, okay, so let me find out about buying homes and what that really has to do with. I know I have this VA loan. I had purchased a home in 2014 with my FHA loan at the time, back in the New
okay.
York area. It's only 60 grand.
Wow.
And
In
the,
California?
no, this was in the New York area.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wish.
Okay. Yeah.
No, this is
What?
back home there. And
Okay.
it was a duplex. I lived in one unit on the bottom, was renting out from the upstairs, and that was weird. I'm some 20-year-old kid just having some 35-year-old with his whole family paying me rent. But that really sparked the ideas in it. So I
Right.
get into the Marine Corps. I meet my mentor, Matt Honeycutt, and he was incredible. And he's like, "You're gonna buy a $500,000 home out here in California." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about? I only remember this 60,000. There's no way I can do that."
Right.
So he introduced me into Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm.
The good old famous book. It's such a good book. If you haven't
Oh,
read it,
yeah. Yep.
yeah, it is. It is so good. Um, and house hacking, and he kind of gave me that thought behind that of like, hey, let's buy a house, and then you rent out the bedrooms and have people help pay for them with that. And I was like, that is really smart. Let's look into that.
Yeah.
Shortly after that conversation, we bought our first house with a VA loan. Um, Sure enough, 530,000 got in without any closing costs out of pocket. Got that completely covered by the seller,
Okay.
and $0 out of my own pocket. So that was
And how old were you?
crazy. That one was in 2020, so I
Okay.
was 25 at this time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And are you married?
I am. Yes,
It
I'm
was you
married.
and your wife that bought that, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Married, and I have two beautiful children. I have a 2-year-old daughter and an 8-month-old son.
Oh my gosh. Did you? Oh, so you're not sleeping much.
I kind of thrive on the little sleep as it
Okay.
goes.
Yeah.
But yes, in the very beginning, he had colic, and it was so much fun. Uh,
Oh,
but yeah, no, it's been good.
that's
Um,
really incredible to have gone from being parented by children, being, 15 and 18-year-old, that's like
yeah,
kids. And then
yeah,
to be where you're at, it's pretty incredible. Was the military the only option? Where the like college was
no,
never an option for
no.
you?
I
Or
actually that education was the biggest thing that my dad has always said since we were little. Like, no matter what, go get education. as I've gotten older, I've also learned that education doesn't solely mean from the college campus,
Right.
i.e. rich dad, poor dad, and,
Right.
self-education and making yourself better that way. But um, no, he harped on it continuously and actually didn't want us to join the military. He wanted us to go to college and made me agree that I'd wait at least 4 years outside of high school before thinking about joining the military. So I
Oh,
did
really?
wait the 4 years. I did go to college. I went to University of Buffalo for
Okay.
2.5 years.
Okay.
Thought I had it all figured out, didn't. Tried tractor trailer driving, tried, everything under the sun, landscaping, building cabinets, whatever. Moved to Florida, and eventually I was like, all right, Dad, it's been 4 years. I'm joining the Marine Corps. Off I go. So that's the story of how I ended up making it out here.
Oh my gosh. So did you ever think about being a real estate agent, or was a loan
Yes.
officer more the direction from the get-go?
Yeah. So as I was getting ready to get out, I get on the phone with Matt and I'm talking to him about it. And so before I decided which path that I was for sure getting out, it was seeing the power of buying with the VA loan and buying a home and then renting it out. Shortly after, this was in January of 2020, we bought the first one. We ended up buying our second one in San Diego in July of 21.
Okay.
And that one had a unit in the back for 100,000 over asking. That was just absolutely craziness. But we ended up getting it. It appraised. It was good. Immediately, we rent out the back unit. We bring our tenants that are currently in our house over to the new place with us and rent out that house. And we're just continuing to grow equity at this time. And that's when it kind of was starting to all click like, oh, I can be successful outside of the military. I don't need a military retirement for me to do that. I can do
Yeah.
this with real estate.
Yeah.
And loved my time, loved, hated my time in the military, and
Yeah.
really realized like, okay, I want to build a family with my wife, and it's super difficult to do that when we're on the other side of the world for
Yeah.
6 months to a year at a time, right? So
Right.
that was a pretty easy decision at that point of like, all right, let's go be successful. So what do I want to do next? Floated the idea of joining law enforcement somewhere along the lines, and this was kind of the times where a lot of turmoil going on,
Yeah.
um, but also not a lot of freedom in
Mm,
that profession.
yeah.
In that, like, you get X amount of time off, and I was like, I want to decide what I do with my time.
Yeah.
Um, I literally called them. I remember this conversation. I called them up and I was like, "Hey, so what are your guys' benefits?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you get 2 weeks off and then a week of paid time off. And, sometimes you get holidays off if we don't need you." And I was like, okay, can I just take like unpaid time off? And they're like FMLA. And I was like, No, if I just want to take extra time off to go do stuff with my family, can I do that? And they're like, no. And I was like, all right, thanks for your time. Have a good day. I was completely uninterested at that point, and that's when I
Yeah.
got back on the phone with Matt, and I'm like, "Matt, what am I gonna do when I get out? Because
Yeah.
clearly I need to get out." And he's like, "Well, there's real estate, there's loan officers." And, I just remember the range of emotions, and when you're buying a house is craziness, and I remember how many times, like, "I don't wanna do this, Matt. I don't know. I don't $910,000 for this house? Are you kidding me?" He's like, "No, you can do this." And being able to walk somebody through that, his emotional intelligence is just incredible to be able to do that. And I think you absolutely need to do that. You kind of need it on the loan side, but the positives of the loan side is it's all backed with numbers. I can just point to the numbers, do the analysis, and say, "Hey, look, this is where you're actually at." So
Right.
Matt's an awesome partner. He's taking care of the emotional side. I've got the analytical side, and we worked really well together as a team. That's what made it a super easy decision for me to be like, yes, I want to get into the loan side of things. So
Okay.
that is the story of how I became a loan officer.
Yeah, buying a home is so personal and so emotional.
Yeah.
I used to decorate houses, gosh, like before I started Driven.
Yeah.
So I would just I stayed at home and raised my kids. So I would stay at home for mom for 9 or 10 years.
Wow.
And I would decorate people's houses and then I would decorate people's offices.
Yeah.
And I way preferred doing someone's office. It was way
Interesting.
less emotional. They were
Yeah.
like, I need this to look good. make it look good. Whereas
Right.
someone's home, it's so intimate. So
Yeah.
there's so much like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like it could just
Right.
that it could look awesome to me, but to that person, they didn't love it. So
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense that being a loan officer takes a little emotion out.
Yeah.
There's probably some disappointment, if someone can't get qualified or it doesn't work out the way it should or falls
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. I think you have to have like, you know, an amount of emotional intelligence still in it, but
Yeah.
the levels are not the same by any
Yeah.
means.
The
I mean,
intensity of it.
yeah, it's the biggest purchase of 95% of
Yeah.
99%, I'd venture to guess, is people's lives, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that it's just a crazy, crazy roller coaster. And things are going good and they're not, and they're good, and I found
Oh,
this thing, and it's nuts. But
it can be exhausting for sure.
yeah,
So, you have a reputation, I don't know if you know this or not, but of being a serial entrepreneur,
is that right?
starting new things, jumping onto not being afraid to try
Sure.
something, or if you feel led to like figure out another stream of income, you're not
Yeah,
scared to jump in and try that. And
yeah,
I don't know if this is a secret and maybe you don't want to talk about it and we're going to totally delete this from this podcast.
right.
But I heard that you created a VA loan toolkit. Is
Yes. So I have
that a
created a
secret?
vegan toolkit. It's not a secret. I want the
Okay.
world
Okay.
to
Can you tell me
know.
about that?
It is for everyone to know. I
Okay.
want to say it's not about not having fear, and this is going to be so corny, and every Marine that watches this is going to laugh, but it's having courage. It's having courage to do the thing even when you're still afraid.
Mm,
It is absolutely terrifying to do almost all of this, to be completely honest with you. I mean, when you're single and it's just you in a house, or even you just buying a house, you have you to account for it. When it's
yeah.
you and a wife, that's a lot more. And when it's you, a wife, and your two kids, it is you got to be careful. Like these risks need to be calculated.
Hmm.
Um, but it's just about knowing and visualizing. Like I I know that God has this in my
Hmm.
future for me to be successful for not only myself, but so that I can continue to grow His kingdom.
Hmm.
And I know he's not gonna let me go too far down the wrong path. He's gonna make it close off, and it's happened before, for me at least. So, um, fail fast. If it's not working, fail fast.
Yeah.
It's super
Yeah.
important.
Hmm.
But the toolkit, I would love to get into that. So, um, how did this come up? I was doom scrolling, and some guy on Instagram started talking about, hey, this is how you can monetize your knowledge. And I'm
Hmm.
sitting here like, what knowledge do I have that I can give out to people, right? Like, what is it that I have? Like, I'm
Yeah.
a loan officer, and then I'm like, holy crap, I'm humble. I'm probably one of the best loan officers on the VA space that there is. Okay, there's better for sure, but I know that I'm definitely better postured than most people out there because I do VA loans. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I can do conventional loans. 95% of the people that are out there are going to say, I do loans, I can do VA loan. I do VA loan.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I know them inside and out. I know it very intimately. I talk to the VA all the time about various situations for people. They have the XYZ going on. I read the VA handbook consistently. That's the first thing Jared Kelly had me doing when I first signed on with him was, hey, go read the 26 Tax 7. Go learn you some information that's going to be helpful because that's the space that he's in as well. So
Okay.
that's what I did. That's how I got into it. And so he's like, this is what you do. And you use ChatGPT. You start
Mhm.
telling them all the information that you know. Hey, create a free guide, start driving people in. And I was like, yeah, okay, let me go check this out. And I was like, wow, holy moly, there is so much stuff here that I can provide of all this value because I have this here. I just need to
Right.
give this to you. And there's a lot of, I'll even say, there's a lot of free resources out there. But the idea behind this is twofold. One is how do I condense a lot of that information for you so that you don't have to go read the whole 26 Tech 7 yourself?
Right.
And how do I make it so that it's easy for just about anyone to get into this space and
Okay.
solve their problem? Their problem being it's really expensive to live in most places, but particularly in San Diego, California, it is very expensive out here. How do we solve that problem? And
Right.
putting them together. So that's how we came up with this idea of doing this.
So is this toolkit for loan officers or is it for the consumer? Is it for
The the toolkit's for the consumer. So sorry,
okay.
so that's the second piece. The second piece is there's a lot of free information that's out there and you can readily go get it. But when you, let's say, put your money where your mouth is of, hey, I'm gonna pay into joining your community and you're gonna get the knowledge that I have. You're gonna put yourself around like-minded individuals and be able to absorb as much of that as possible. Be around people that are wanting to get ahead or have already done it themselves. So it is for
Okay.
the end consumer, it's for the veteran. Uh,
Okay.
and the other idea behind it, because I know that there's other folks that do it, and I know they charge a good chunk more than I do. And sure, could I do that? Yeah, but I also know that who the clients are that I'm helping out. A,
Yeah.
generally, you're not going to have a whole lot of change hanging around as it is, and
Mhm.
B, I just want them to be invested in it. I've
Yeah.
done it myself. I've paid for courses. I've paid lots of money for courses, and I've found that the courses that I pay for are the ones where I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get back in here and check
Mhm.
this information out because it's obviously good information." So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, you need
yeah,
to have some skin in the game. So I
right.
have a lot of clients that their boss will pay for my services, and
Mhm.
I always encourage that person, that the boss, to have their employee at least pay for something,
Yeah,
just so they have some skin in the game.
yeah,
Because when you're paying for something, you actually care about what you're getting out of it.
yeah, absolutely.
So, have you made money off of this?
I have made leads off of this.
Oh,
So
good. That's
we're still in the early stages of it. So
okay.
basically the goal is we're going to create a lead funnel right at this point. We've
Yeah,
got part of
brilliant.
the lead funnel going right now. Most of that lead funnel right now is, hey, here's your free guide, and it's good information. I think it's absolutely enough information for anyone that's your normal DIY person. They can pick it up, go and go buy a house. Ideally, they use me as their loan officer. That would be
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Um, I do have people that have gone that route already, and I am their loan officer, and we're working on that. They haven't
Okay.
joined, which is fine with me. It doesn't matter. I just want to help these guys get to the next stage in life.
Yeah.
Um, what I'm working on right now for that toolkit, or to lead people to the toolkit, we'll call it a lead magnet, is just
Mhm.
this free masterclass.
Okay.
So that one is going to be roughly 30 minutes of me talking about, hey, look, here's what I did. Here's another thing I did. Here's some myths about the VA loan, which you might already know. Here's the excuses that you're telling yourself. And here's why those excuses are just excuses and what's holding you back instead of you needing to press forward into
Mhm.
those things and have that courage to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and I
Mhm.
think my favorite part is what I'm introducing into it is this 90-day guarantee, where within 90 days of joining up for my class and getting pre-approved, I guarantee you will have an offer accepted if you follow the roadmap. If not, that's okay. I will give you your money back. You can stay inside of the course and I will still pay 750 up to 750 toward your appraisal for your house, which will likely cover your whole appraisal and you get
Okay.
your money back, right? So
Yeah.
I feel that confidently that I'm able to help people get to that point
Mhm. Mhm.
that I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, there's no risk then.
Right.
Why wouldn't they just give it a go?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you 100%, and it's just selling people on this thing like, "Hey, look, you are gonna benefit from doing this and being around other folks," because I think one of the big issues that folks get into is, whether you're single or even just you and, say, a spouse, and you go and buy a one-bedroom condo. You
Mhm.
can do that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but understand now you're buying an apartment. Which
Mm.
again, if you're comfortable with that, that's okay. But if you want to really use it to grow wealth and to get building on it, it's going to be difficult to do it that way.
Yeah, so what would you recommend to really build wealth? Buy a
You got
what
generally 3+ bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. That's where I think you start.
single family home
Single family home.
and do what with that?
And rent out the other bedrooms.
Okay, so
Right.
as a single person.
Correct. Single person or married, I would go
Okay.
that route. If you have family, right, kids, what have you, then I say, okay, maybe go a 2 to 4 unit route. Or a single family home that you could quickly convert into a 2 unit.
Okay,
Um,
so you're saying a single family home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath is the ideal first place to start.
or
coming
more bedrooms, but
or
yes.
more bedrooms.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're not comfortable sharing space like that,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
the more bedrooms, the better because it's more people you can rent out to. So
okay.
that's the first thing I do. So on the weekly calls that I have in the community, I
Mhm.
will literally pull up San Diego County. We'll look and see what's available and they're off of Zillow, and I'm like, great. And I search by bedrooms. Here's this place over in Santee for 5 bedrooms. Awesome. Let's look how much we can rent out the rooms for,
Okay.
and this is why this works for you.
Okay. Um, so it definitely is someone who is okay with this with it's a different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah,
Are these people still in the military? Are they young?
yeah.
Okay. What's the
It,
age range typically?
so it depends on the person and what their goals in life are, right? So
Yeah.
Um, as a loan officer, VA loan officer, I'm willing to have any person that wants to just utilize their VA loan effectively,
Yeah.
and make sure that you're structuring the deal the right way. In my opinion, that is going to best benefit you. For instance, trying to make sure that you're getting all the seller credits that you can. You can
Hmm.
get up to 4% with your VA loan, and so we try and get that on every loan if we can, because
Okay.
you can use that for your closing costs, or you could even use it to pay off consumer debt.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
that you have. So that's one of the things that the VA loan offers that no other loan offers.
Okay.
We really like to do that. You could also use it to buy down your rate, right? Right. Everyone's
Okay.
complaining
Yeah.
about rates right now. You can use that to buy down your rates as well.
Okay. So who do you
Yeah.
find does this? Is it it's people who are like their first, second, third year in the military? Like where are they
Mm.
at typically? Is there an
Yeah, so
average?
it's so hard to say. I would say usually for San Diego at least, usually it's going to be an E5 and above, maybe married,
Okay.
so that they're receiving BAH. I mean, it's going to be difficult to find a place in San Diego if you're not receiving BAH. That's just the reality of it, regardless of other people paying for it. If you're not receiving
Okay.
BAH, you're probably living in the barracks anyway.
Okay.
But assuming that you're receiving BAH, E4s can squeak by in some places, depending on how far you're willing to drive. E5, 6,
Okay.
7 are going to be another group.
Okay.
Generally speaking, it's going to be people that don't have kids, uh,
Okay.
because it's difficult when you have kids. Be like, okay, we have roommates, so uh,
Right. And my baby's crying at night. It's
yes,
a different lifestyle. How
yeah.
long do people typically do live in the home, have roommates, and then when do you see that transition of like buying something new or, like kicking the roommates out because they don't
Yeah.
need that support anymore? What do you
It
see?
depends
What's
on the
the
person.
timeline?
And do they create a family or not? For me, it was once we had our first baby, we were like, okay, love having roommates. Time for you guys to go. Um, I know that sounds brutal, but that's just reality. At that point, we were just like, hey, there's obviously there's a whole lead time, right? There's 10 months or 9 months
Yeah,
for the first
yeah,
one. So
yeah, yeah.
there's a time. Um, but it's usually whenever they start expanding or building a family is when you start to see that. The
Okay.
awesome thing about our second property was it had an attached ADU, and
Yeah,
so that was easy for us to be like, okay, immediately moving into it, that is going to get put right onto Airbnb. We're going to make some money that way and have them helping us pay our
yeah,
mortgage.
yeah.
So,
Are those easy to find in California?
yes, yeah, California
Okay.
very much so. There's a lot of ADUs. The downside to ADUs would only be so you can't Airbnb them if they weren't built prior, I think it's 2019. After 2019, you cannot Airbnb it, which is okay. You can still rent it out,
Oh,
30
okay.
years
Long
plus.
term. Okay.
You just can't do it on Airbnb.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it really just depends on the person and the sacrifices that them and their spouses are going to be willing to make,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
security of their financial future. I think the biggest part is, or my general clientele is people buying their first place, getting out of renting, getting out of 100% interest and into building something for you and your spouse.
Yeah.
After that, there is plays that you can do, but it's not the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're willing to move into them and continue to do it, refinance out of the one place, go buy a new place with your VA loan, absolutely. Just keep going as long as you and
Yeah.
your wife can handle it. But
Yeah.
after 3 house purchases in San Diego, my wife was like, "All right, we're done. That's it. That's it
Yeah.
for
There's a
me."
season, I think, where people are like okay with that. And then
Yeah,
you want your
yeah,
privacy, you want to settle
right.
down.
Right. Plus,
Retire.
when all your military friends start moving back home or out of the area, then you have
Right.
to move it all yourself or hire movers. It gets not
Right.
fun anymore. No one
Yeah.
wants to do it for pizza and beer anymore. So
No, heck no. No, I have a lot of moving clients and they always say that. That's like
yeah,
their main thing. I
yeah,
love it. So people can learn more about that
yeah.
if they like sign up for your toolkit.
Correct.
You kind of
Yeah,
walk them
if you
through all
sign
the
up for the
steps of
toolkit, I've got a ton of content on my page as well that kind of talks about it.
it.
But to
Okay.
really dive deep into it, to join into it, get the toolkit, get the VA Loan 101, Home Buyer 101.
Okay.
We've got a calculator that helps make it super easy that I
Okay.
created. I love that calculator. Um,
Oh, you're such a
and
dork.
I know, because it's a spreadsheet, and that's what I built out, and I just absolutely love it. Um, and then the weekly calls with us in the community as well. So you can join there and
That's
and again, the most important part I think is 750 towards your appraisal if you close a loan with me.
that's awesome. I love that. How does
Yeah,
this translate to like a civilian person? So I have a son who is 19. He
yeah,
is a student at the University of Tennessee in
yeah,
Knoxville. What would you say to just a broke college student
yeah.
who wants to grow wealth? The VA loan obviously is not, you know,
Right. An option.
yeah, it's not an option for someone who's
Yeah,
not military. Are there other ways to do something similar?
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, so three things. You could join the military, being, when you finish your college degree and you can go in as an officer. I'd start right
Okay.
there. You can absolutely do that. It's an option. Um, the second and third thing, you can do it conventional or FHA. Uh,
Okay.
Both of those options can do it. The whole concept is that you're house hacking, right? You're buying into a house. The only difference is how much down payment you have to come in with, right? So
Right.
generally you can go in 3.5% with FHA and 5% with conventional. Yeah,
Okay.
PMI on that. So there it makes it a little bit more difficult. But the reality is the numbers are excuse me, the numbers are still going to generally make sense for you to purchase a place. You're going to be paying down your principal. You have appreciation going up, and then you have income coming in from renting out the bedrooms. So as
Yeah.
long as you're okay with having roommates, you're building that leverage. It's building a gap for yourself to have some breathing room and
Mm-hmm.
start saving up for more. If you want to save up and buy a business, if you want to save up and build a business or buy another property outside, buy a rental property, that it's to help you get that leverage to do it,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of VA, FHA, conventional, what have
Mm-hmm.
you.
Would you recommend that a 19, 20-year-old do this without their parents? Because I feel like there's a lot of people my age who have adult children. Um, do we as parents help our kids? Can they do it on their own? What do you see happening? Have you
Yeah,
worked with any of that?
well, that goes back to my story. Granted, most places aren't 60 grand for duplexes anymore.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that long ago. It was 2014 when I bought my first one, but I was 20 years old. I was 19 turning 20, and it was the same thing where I was like, wow, people are paying rent, but I can just buy a house, have someone pay rent to me, and it's about the same, if not better. So, um, you can help in the ways of either qualification,
Okay,
sign
like be a
co-signing with
co-signer.
them.
Mm-hmm.
You could help in down payment wise, as in giving them a gift, if that was an option for you, if you have that available to yourself or others for that
Mm-hmm.
matter. And just kind of like give them the steps. Hey, this is what you do. Go follow Dominic Dallas, and yes, it's not a VA loan for you, but it's the same concept.
Right, right.
Having
I wonder if you need to
some,
market, like just repackage
yeah,
something that's not VA. We could
yeah,
rebrand it because I
you
think
know,
the education around it could be great for any young person.
sure,
So my son is looking for housing right now for next year. So,
yeah,
in September, he has to lock in housing for August of next
yeah,
year,
yeah.
in Tennessee. And the rent per person,
Oh
Dominic,
yeah,
it's the lowest they can find is like 8.99 per
yeah,
person. Some
yep,
of them are 1,300.
yeah.
Plus you have to pay for parking.
It's
It's
becoming
insane.
more and more normal for, especially like you said, especially that age group are anywhere between, and young working professionals from 18 up to like 40, we'll say. And in that age range, I mean, depending on what you have going on, even past it, um, where having roommates is a normal thing. When I'm
Right.
looking and I'm showing people on the calls that we do every week, I'm like, "Hey, look, this is how we're gonna analyze it, and we're looking for bedrooms so that we can it's called comp it out and see other things that are similar so you have an idea of what you can rent it out for. But these places are literally advertising, yeah, you have 4 or 5 housemates and they're doing the same thing that I'm trying to teach people how to do. So
Right.
it's
Right.
absolutely a norm. And you
Yeah.
could be right. I probably could rebrand it that way. And I'll put that in the good old noggin and maybe add that to the
I'll
toolkit.
rebrand it. I'll
Yeah,
take it. I'll take your
great.
content. I'm just kidding.
Do what you got to do.
Um, I just that age group I think could be really lonely too.
Yeah.
You think about being in high school and you're around your friends all the time, and
Hmm.
then you graduate and you go to college and you're
Yeah.
around people still. But what happens if you go right into the workforce? If you're in
Yeah.
a trade or something like that, I think it can be a really lonely time for that 18 to 24 and beyond, and
Yeah.
especially if you go from high school to then college, like living with your friends and like fun every day. And
Right.
then you're an adult and you're working
Right.
and I think it could be lonely. So having roommates, I think if you're not married or even if you
Right.
are,
Yeah. I
could,
we
could be
did
nice.
great with it. I mean, I want to be careful on how I say this. You can be selective on the people that are your roommates when you are residing in the property.
Okay.
In most places. So don't someone's gonna come out here and be like, you can't do that here in
Oh,
XYZ.
right.
But in most places you can be selective. So when you are residing in the property in
Yes.
one of the bedrooms, right? And I
Yes.
think that's a great thing. I'm not saying people need to go out and be discriminatory. You should never do that. But for instance, if you have a female that's by themselves, I mean, it's an equal country for everyone, right? So a female could absolutely go do this and say, hey, I only want other females to live with me because that's how I feel
Mm.
comfortable. Great.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
absolutely do the same thing.
Mm.
So I mean, that's what we did. I was getting ready to go on deployment. We had purchased this place. My wife was like, I only want other females to come. I was like, go ahead, post it in. We looked into equal housing laws. Like we researched everything before we got into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we set that up so that she was safe, she was comfortable,
Yeah.
she had some awesome roommates, she made awesome friends doing it. We're still friends with them today. And
Aw,
yeah,
that's
it's
a good sign.
I
You're
agree.
that's a good sign that you're a good roommate and that your
Yeah.
wife's a good roommate.
Yeah, my wife cleans up everything. She's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do the cooking, she does the cleaning. It's a good
That's
mix.
perfect. That's a
Yeah.
perfect relationship.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to quickly talk about this lemonade stand, that
Yeah.
business that you're starting for your daughter.
Love it.
Can you just tell me about that briefly, just really quick?
Yeah, so this was my wife came to me with a $50 lemonade stand that she saw on Facebook Marketplace and said, "Hey, let's do that." And I looked outside and I said, "We don't have traffic. We're gonna stand outside with her all day and it's not gonna go anywhere." And um and that's just setting yourself up for failure. The lifeblood of any business is sales. So I was like,
Yeah.
There's no sales here." However, right around the corner there is a farmer's market that comes up all the time,
Okay.
every Wednesday. And I was like, I don't know if you know San Diego, it's got different areas all over town, but there's farmer
Yeah.
markets every day of the week. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to this. It's part of
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It's part of the list. She's still just a wee bit young as it is. She's 2.5, right? I mean,
Okay.
she's a smart cookie, I'll tell you what. But she might be just a wee bit young, so it's on the map. But anyway, we
Okay.
went into a little rabbit hole. It's called Sweetest Squeeze.
Okay.
We went we went and got some licensing done so that we have that already just locked in for when we're actually ready. She built um, stickers for it and everything. We've kind of worked out the whole business plan on it. But the whole concept for us is we're going to be homeschooling. Uh,
Okay.
and so at some point we're going to be taking her out of daycare, and I generally work from home. Um, and so I can work from anywhere. So I'm like, great. So when we were doing
Okay.
this, we'll be at a farmer's market. I'll be doing loan calls or whatever else at the time. But I want her to have direct hands-on experience of, hey, this
Mm.
is how you build and make a business happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're going through a lot of the different things to it, but there's definitely a ton of work that goes into it. That she was like, I was just gonna buy a $50 stand, and I was like, no, 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 listen, this is what we're gonna
Yeah,
do.
why can't you just let her keep it simple, Dominic? Why can't she
No,
just have a
no,
lemonade stand?
we're gonna go do this. We're gonna show proof of concept. It's gonna work here. We're gonna expand out to the 5 different ones. And eventually, once we prove this concept works, we're gonna go and get a franchise license paperwork and we're gonna start franchising. And my wife's like, "That's what are you saying right now?" And I was like, "No, this is gonna be great, trust me." So, Um, it's
I
gonna
love
be
it.
like some core flavors, and then like we'll do either monthly or quarterly mix-ins of unique flavors.
Okay.
Whatever those end up being, but kind of taking a playbook. There's an ice cream shop here called Salt
Okay.
and Straw, and they do some unique flavors. For instance,
Okay.
we had goat cheese and rhubarb. I don't
Oh,
think we're gonna do that in lemonade, but
no.
we're gonna make that work for sure. But it's gonna be candy inspired, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
I love it. She
Yeah.
doesn't even know how good she has it, having you for
Oh
a
yeah.
dad.
I'm
I
so excited.
I think it's so good to start these kids off with this entrepreneurial mindset. I think the entrepreneurial life is full of a ton of beautiful things. The freedom that it affords,
Right.
the opportunity.
Mm,
There's no ceiling on what you can make.
yeah.
And I think especially the freedom to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
however you want to do it. It's
That's what leads most of the decisions that we make. Because
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I constantly see the police, and I'm like, God, I love what you guys are doing
Mm,
most of the time, obviously, and I love what the majority of them are doing and trying to support. And dude, I get the call, like I kind of want to do that, but I'm gotta be able to take time off when I want.
right.
It's so
Yeah.
important to me to do that,
Yeah.
and I mean, homeschooling, that's gonna take up a ton of time, right?
That's a noble cause. Good for you. I
Yeah,
think that's so great to do. If you were looking or if you were talking to, I don't know, your 18-year-old self,
yeah,
what would you say to little Dominic?
keep going.
Yeah.
Keep doing because I mean, my dad inspired the crap out of me growing up. I mean, like I said, it wasn't perfect growing up and in and out of the foster homes, evictions, back home with dad, all over the place. But my dad never quit. He
Yeah.
always was pushing forward, always trying to find a new job, always trying to whatever was going on. So just
Hmm.
keep going. I think was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Um, and man, 18-year-old self was not a Christian, and if there was any way that I could have 18-year-old me see and or experience the things that I did in terms of like my testimony and the things that have happened, and that I could just hand that off to him,
Mm-hmm.
just give it to God and just know that he's going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be the two things.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It'd be interesting to know, like, would you be who you are today though, if the 18-year-old was a Christian? Would you be different? It's
Yeah,
all part of the journey
for
of who we're
sure.
becoming. And um, I had someone on my podcast, my best friend whose son has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and she's told me, she's like, the lesson I wish I would have learned when I first heard about my son's diagnosis is like I can't play God. Like I can't
Yeah,
control it. Um, like you have to live a little like freely,
yeah,
and like, it's all part of the journey of who we're
yeah,
becoming. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah. No,
Um,
I agree. I mean, the whole thing's a butterfly effect, right? Meeting one
mm,
person, doing one thing leads to something else. You meet someone
mm,
else, they introduce you to someone, and
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Have
it
have you ever watched the movie Sliding Doors? It's a movie where a girl, I think it's Gwyneth Paltrow, she makes the train in one route of the movie, and she doesn't make the train on the other route of the movie.
yeah,
And it shows like her making that door and getting on the train or her not changed the trajectory of her life. Have you
for everything. Yeah,
Yeah. So me as in our family, we're always talking about these things. Like, what was your sliding door moment? Have you was there a sliding door moment where you like had to make a decision, like I'm going to be this person? Not becoming a cop and choosing your own business is probably one of those. Did you have any other
sure.
moments while you were in the military that it was like, no, this is who I'm going to be. I'm going to make this
Man,
decision.
that's such a good question. Um,
Most of the time this question gets asked and where you're sitting in a circle and it's hours
right,
to think
right.
about. But I like to think about those. And sometimes we don't know. Like
Yeah,
maybe had I not had I gone to that, maybe this would have been different. Had I gone
yeah,
on that trip, had I stayed home, had I whatever. I think. My husband and I, one of our sliding doors was he quit his job as a pastor. We were actually in Syracuse, New York,
Oh yeah,
in a
nice.
little town,
Yeah.
Fayetteville, Manlius area. And we felt called to be a coach, like for
Yeah.
businesses. He was in nonprofit work at the same time, but it was scary to do because we were making a paycheck,
Right.
steady paycheck, working at a church.
Right.
But we felt like we had to do it. We
Yeah.
had to step out and go. And I would say that
So
was one of our sliding door moments.
I think maybe two of them. Just I guess off the cuff here. So the first one was I was in contract to purchase a business, um, and we were getting pretty far along. Things were going good, and we had hit one snag. We had passed it. We had hit another snag, and I was just praying to God. I was like, give me a sign, give me a reason that I don't need to get." And this is what I was kind of hinting towards earlier, a reason as to why I should not continue with this one or should.
Mhm.
And I was like, God, I'm a hardhead. I'm a bonehead. I need you to just make this clear as day for me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, and you know, you're not really supposed to like specifically like ask God for direct signs and stuff like that, but I did. I was like, let the score. This is gonna sound so silly to probably most people. Let the score of the Bills game tomorrow. I think it was a Thursday night game. Be 24 points. Let the Bills score 24 points. And there were calls, crazy stuff, whatever happened, and the Bills did not score 24 points, or they did score 24 points the very next day. And to anyone that watches sports, to be able to call even one of this teams is just
Mhm.
a craziness because so much stuff happens and it
Mm,
happened the next day. And it's like, okay, I need to back out of this deal. I don't feel
mm.
comfortable doing it after this confirmation. Shortly after that, I received another email from someone else as to basically another big snag that would have just destroyed the whole deal anyway.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So it was just enough to speak to me on that. And I think that was actually going to drag me into something that would have taken up way too much time that I would
Yeah.
want to have gone into. Um,
Mhm.
so that was one moment, and I think the other one, as we were talking earlier, deciding, okay, my wife and I were so scared going off because loan officer is 100% commission.
Right.
He's like, you're going from literally a guaranteed paycheck every month into a loan officer position where you don't know if it's necessarily going to come in or not. So I
Right.
think that was another one where like take the leap, see what happens, and if it's the right thing, it's the right thing. If it's not, we'll figure something else out. I'll
Yeah.
go back to fixing aircraft, whatever.
Yeah.
I
It
think
worked out.
yes, yes, we're very happy where we are.
I So the Bills are funny. The game on Monday night, that in the third quarter, most of the Bills fans left.
Oh yeah,
And
oh
at
yeah,
the
fair
end,
weather boys.
yeah, so Josh Allen was like,
Yeah, I'm
they're
so
reprimanding
happy he called them out.
everybody.
I
He's
am
like,
so happy he called them out.
yeah,
I'm tired of that. I say that as a Bills fan. I've been a Bills fan for as far back as I remember, through all the bad times, and
yeah,
you gotta have it stinks, but the games are not over until it's 0-0-0.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was really cool to see him call him out because he's out here giving his heart out. He's getting
yeah.
offers from other teams, and he's like, "No, I'm a
Mhm.
Bills player. I'm going through and through." So, um,
I think it's such a similar picture to business or to marriage or to family.
sure,
Like you have to ride it out. Things
yeah,
aren't going to be rainbows and unicorns every single day. You're
right,
going to go through some highs and lows. And that is what I have noticed with every single entrepreneur I've talked to. There are really, really high highs and there are some low lows,
yeah,
but the highs outweigh the lows. And there's so much beauty in that commitment
yeah,
and just the lifelong connection you have with other people,
yeah.
the relationships you build, and just the journey you go on.
Yeah.
Stay in it for the whole game, right?
The whole time. And I mean, the loan officer side of things kind of goes hand in hand with that, right? Because I'm literally here for the next 30 years of your loan and then some. So hopefully the goal is to continue to help you purchase more and more property as you go on, not only for
Yeah.
myself, but um, that's another book, Millionaire Fastlane. Such a good book. If you
Oh,
haven't
good.
picked
That's
it
the
up,
last question I was going to ask you because we do need
yeah,
to wrap this up. But
yeah.
it's a book that you recommend. What is it?
Yes, Millionaire Fastlane. I love that book as much as, equally as, um, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I have it
Okay.
here actually,
Okay.
randomly.
Yes.
I
Show
swear it was not planned. anyone watching this, this was not planned. It happens to be here.
Okay.
Millionaire
A Million
Fastlane,
Fastlane. Okay.
MJ DeMarco. It
Okay.
is so good. I was on the boat reading it. When I was on the boat deployment, I read so many books out there. Everyone
Mm,
else was doing nothing, watching videos, sleeping their life away, or whatever. You know, it's hard, 12 days, 12 on, 12 off, whatever. But
mm,
just kept reading the book, and I got to this book and I read it and I was like, wow. I mean, it was just it's so good. The biggest piece on it that I'd take for you is how many people's problems can you solve? You know, if you're solving no problems, don't expect to get paid a whole lot of money. If you're solving millions of problems, millions of people's problems, expect that to reflect in your bank account. So you can only work so many hours and
mhm,
get paid by those hours and trading your hours or time. And what can you do to improve the lives of other people that
mhm,
exponentially is going to make their lives better,
mhm.
and you'll reap the rewards for that. So that's what I would say. There you go.
Mic drop.
Andy
Beautiful.
DeMarco does it best. Go read the whole book.
All
Get the
right. I'm
cliff
going
notes if you want, but definitely read the whole book. It's really
Okay.
good.
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
So, Dominic, how can people find you? How can they find the VA loan toolkit?
Yes. So super simple. So www.dominicdaoust.com. It is super
See?
easy to find it on there. Spelling is not easy.
No.
DOMINICDAOUST. And then you can find me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. It's Dominic
Okay.
Daoust. And
Okay.
Facebook, it's technically a business page, but it's got personal stuff and whatever. So you can get me on Instagram is probably the best way.
Thanks again for joining us today on the Driven podcast, where we are all about growing relationships in life and business. We hope today's story reminded you that behind every brand, every business, and every big idea, there is a real person choosing to show up, stay rooted, and lead with intention. Your story matters. So keep building, keep loving, and keep doing the hard, beautiful work of showing up in both life and business. We'll catch you next time with another real, inspiring conversation. And until then, never let love and kindness leave you. Always be a fountain, not a drain. And don't ever forget that you are the best.